everybody, it's Jenny from the Missouri Star Quilt Company, and I have a really appealing idea for you today. Today we're talking about a new template called the large orange peel template. It's very much the same as our small orange peel template, only Texas size. This thing is enormous, but it still fits on a 10-inch square. So let's talk about this quilt behind me. Isn't this fun? I mean, it's just so fun when you take a regular idea and you just make it big, and it just makes a really fun project. So let me tell you what you're going to need to make this quilt. First, you're going to need this large orange peel template. You're going to need one packet of 10-inch squares, and we've used Pool Party by Robert Kaufman. And so you're going to need one that is a print or a color, and then you're going to need your background pieces. You're going to need the same number, 40 10-inch squares, and we've used a Robert Kaufman gray here. You're going to need this border right here. We have a 5-inch border on there, and that's about a yard, and let's see, a yard and a quarter for the outer border. It's going to give you a quilt that is 67 by 76. You are also going to need about 6 yards of interfacing, and we've used the Heat and Bond featherweight. Let me make sure that's right. Yeah, the featherweight. And you can see it's very thin, very light, has a fusible on one side, and the fusible's important. So you're going to need about 6 yards of that. So let me show you how to make this. So to make this quilt, what you're going to do is you're going to take your large orange peel template and a 10-inch square. So it's real handy to use on these pre-cuts, very little waste. Don't be afraid to use yardage if you want to too, though. I mean, this is a great fun idea. What we're going to do is we're going to take our rotary cutter and we're going to line it up on the edge of our template. Our template is sitting on that square just corner to corner. And because the curve is large, I mean, this just makes it real easy to cut. It just cuts so easily. I'm going to flip this around, line it up here, and we are going to do the other side. And I'm going to clip off these ends right here. Make sure I caught this right here and pull that away. And there you have your little orange peel cut out of your template. Now, for every one of those you cut, and we have 42 up here, you're going to need to cut one of these. So because the interfacing is so thin, I mean, it's just really lightweight and thin, you can actually fan fold this back and forth together and cut a whole bunch at one time. But if you have 42 of these, you're going to need 42 of those. So you just want to make sure you cut your interfacing. Now, when you're ready to put these together, I have one right here cut out and an interfacing cut out. You're going to feel it so you can feel the bumps. You're going to lay the bumps facing your peel, just like this. So now I've learned a couple of tricks because I've made a lot of these since I filmed the last one. So let me show you one of the things I've learned. First, before we sew our interfacing together, take that and cut your slit. Cut your slit first. So just put your rotary cutter on there and make your slit first. That makes it way easier to cut because it's already done. When you put it on there, you don't have to like pull it apart and snip it. So that's a little trick I learned, makes things a lot easier. You're going to lay these right sides together with your bumps to the inside. Bumps to the inside. And then we're just going to go to the sewing machine, sew 1/4 inch all the way around. All right, here we go. Now I'm just going to start at the end, line up my presser foot along the edge, and just gently ease that curve around. And I just sewed right off the end. I'm going to come back on here and line it up. It's going to make like a little crisscross at the end. And this one, I'm just going to sew 1/4 inch right across the bottom. There we go. And 1/4 inch across this end too. All right. So once you get that all sewed up, you want to make sure and trim your corners off. And we're just going to take these and trim them. Because we already have the slit on this side, now we can just turn it. So we're just going to gently flip it right side out. This interfacing is thin, so you have to be careful of that. And we're just going to roll out these edges to make sure we have some nice clean edges. Make sure there's no little folds in there. And once you get your shape and you see that it looks good and your edges are all under, you are ready to put it on your 10-inch square. And so we are just going to lay this diagonally on here just like this. It should come about, you know, 1/4 of an inch or 1/2 an inch, you know, 3/8, somewhere right around there. From corner to corner, just kind of center it up. And then we're going to go over here to the ironing board and press that down. This is I love doing applique this way because it's all pressed into place and it makes it so easy to sew on. It's already done and pressed. There's no turning. All right, here we go. We're just going to go ahead and hold that on there. You want to hold it on a few seconds to make sure, because it's got to go through a couple of layers of fabric. And this way you won't have to pin or anything. It'll just be pressed on there, adhered. All the little bumps are doing their job, sticking to the 10-inch square. All right. So now it's on here. It's not going to go anywhere, and we're going to be able to just go along here and machine applique that down. Now there's lots of stitches you can use that. This is a fun time to use your decorative stitches. I like to do a little tiny blanket stitch on mine. You can see that I have it right here. And you'll want to just set that, if you set it small like this, then you hardly won't even see it at all. So let's go to the sewing machine and do that. So now we're ready to machine applique this piece onto the square. And on my Melody, I have chosen number 25. And my stitch board looks like this, and I have all these different stitches on it. And I have chosen number 25 because it's a nice, small little blanket stitch that'll work for this. It's going to go right along the edge. So I just line up my melon with on the foot, and you always want to take a few stitches to make sure it's going to do what you want it to do. And then I just keep that lined up real close. And this is also one of the times where you may want to use the speed control on your sewing machine. So if you need to slow down so that you can take it easy and go real nice and gentle, that's what you want to do. Quick as that. And you have this awesome little piece. Take a look at this. And you can barely see those stitches on there. And it's also held on by the adhesive from the Heat and Bond. And also, as we go ahead and quilt this, we're quilting right over the top of it. So that's also going to hold these pieces on. They are not going anywhere. So this makes a really quick quilt. And let me show you. Please feel free to play with the layout on this. I mean, we've done it lots of different ways. This time we set it together kind of as a chevron. So we've got one going out, this one going over, this one going out, this one going over. We've got 6 across, 7 rows. And so you're just going to go ahead and line them up. You know, you can line them up like leaves. You can line them up like flowers. They make a great circle if you put them together this way. So just have fun with this layout. Enjoy it. Your blocks just get sewn straight together, one right next to each other. And before you know it, you're going to have a quilt. So we hope you enjoyed this tutorial on the large orange peel quilt from the Missouri Star Quilt Company. And then we're just going to flip it, this thing right here.
Good, all right.
I don't know.